So it's been quite a tough past couple of weeks for staff and patients at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. This week, we heard how doctors were essentially digging into their own pockets to bring lunch for patients at that hospital because of government's failure to pay food suppliers. Sharif Khan is a butchery owner, and he says that he was messaged by someone who was working at the institution asking for donations of bread in order to give these to patients. Earlier, Khan and his team actually delivered about 400 cheese and polony sandwiches to the hospital as part of their Random Acts of Kindness initiative. Sharif joins us now via our video link to discuss in part what he saw. Sharif, it's great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for your time. Take me back to that moment when you received this message from someone working at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital asking for assistance. What did they say to you?
Thank you for having me. Yes, so it was on Monday evening. We got notice from people from Bara that that there's a shortage of food and patients were going hungry. Some people were rationed. That was the message we got, that they were rationed with food. So there were certain types of food, but there wasn't enough of it. Also, the bread situation was critical. So what we decided was, we spoke to a few people at Bara. We then decided, we'll try and do ward to ward. We don't know what the situation is there, so we prepared sandwiches, and we got a few hundred loaves of bread to dispatch there. So I think it was on Tuesday that we went there and we gave the sandwiches to the people and the bread, and then subsequently we heard that there's a shortage of bread there, and we started taking it further. And then we were approached by management, who took us in for a meeting, and things were discussed there.
Are you able to tell us what was discussed?
So when I went in, we discussed how we're going to sort of streamline this whole thing. It was also told to me that the main problem was the bread situation. It wasn't so much the other foods. Obviously, that's not what we heard, and that's why we put up a post saying that the way we did. But from what I understand, there was a bigger problem than that. But by management, it was cleared up, or they told me that it was just a short supply of bread. I also told people, or I told the other media as well, that it wasn't discussed with us what the reason for the shortage of bread, whether it was financial or whether there was some system glitch, for non-payment or whatever the case is. But we didn't delve into that much. But we were told that they are working on it. But in the meantime, till they got their problem sorted out, we still dispatch bread to the place. So the following day, the day or so, we sent more bread to the facility.
And Sharif, are you able to tell us, from what you know, I appreciate that you don't work at the institution, but from what you were able to see, are you able to gauge the kind of patients that are being prioritized for this bread? Because I'm also not quite sure how far the 400 sandwiches go, but in a context where not everyone can get a sandwich, of course you have to decide who gets and who doesn't.
I've recently seen a tweet from the hospital saying that bread was a preferential thing. So I don't know how that fits into the system of things. But when we went there with sandwiches, I know there was doctors, nursing staff that came there wanting 20 sandwiches for their wards, 10 sandwiches for their wards. So that 400 was dispersed to as many wards as we could possibly reach out to. I was also told that there's 2,600 patients that are in the facility at any given time, roughly. So we went there with 400 and we gave to whoever came forth and took the sandwiches. I don't think at that time everybody knew that we'd be coming through. And there was also a little bit of red tape that we needed to pass through, which eventually we sorted out with management.
And if you were able to get sight of the hospital itself, are you able to describe to us the kind of conditions that it's in? Because the food issue, I understand, is just one of plenty other issues that are currently plaguing Bara.
Honestly, I went there. I am aware of the waste issue. I went there. We didn't see much of that situation. I have been receiving posts, other organizations sending me that, there's a crisis with regards to waste management and stuff. But it looked pretty okay. The only thing that seriously looked concerning was the food issue to us, to me at that point. Because, I'm perturbed by the fact that I would see like senior doctors coming to carry parcels to their patients and handing out food items. So that's a little bit disturbing for me.
Yeah. Speak to us about this Random Acts of Kindness initiative, which I imagine made this possible for you. And as you do that, are you anticipating that Bar is going to continue needing your help in the days ahead, or is this issue now sorted, at least from what you've been told?
Okay, firstly, we're monitoring the situation closely. So we are in contact with, with personnel and people there at Bar, just to see that, that food is given to the people. I mean, we've been assured that they have their house in order. So we take it that, that the system is now operational. So, but should that fail, I mean, they call on us for help. We on standby. People are helping us. I've had numerous calls from a lot of people, and thanks to the press and to the media as yourselves is that through all this we've managed to raise funds to sustain this program. So we there on standby should anything fail. With regards to the Random Act of Kindness, it started off in a small way. It was during the COVID times. Driving along the streets, seeing the shelters, seeing how people were hungry. We started a small drive where we started making sandwiches and giving it to people. And people saw what we were doing, and funds came in, and it grew to a point where we were giving 2,000 to 3,000 sandwiches. We did a lot of work with government structures as well. We worked with Doctors Without Borders, with disaster management. So we've grown like that. It was initially myself and a good friend of mine was passed away, and obviously this round has been a tribute to him, Aslam Lehe. The two of us started this, and we grew it to a point where people just gave, and we helped as much as we could.
Sure.
And when it came to this situation, it was very easy to reach the people because we had a sort of a network and a database. And we called on them, and people opened their hearts and they started giving. So our team has grown since then. Aslam Lehe's daughter, Azra Lehe, Lubna Musaji, Yusuf Dokrat, all of them who are people that do work in the community have joined us. And we are where we're sitting now, and it's been great trying to assist people and making a difference.
Good on you for the good work that you're doing, and condolences to you and your family about the passing of your friend. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Really do appreciate it. Sharif Khan, part of the Random Acts of Kindness initiative, but also just, I guess, one of the South Africans doing the good work of stepping in when help is needed. In this case, helping out with the food supply issues at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital.